Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the NBA Front Office Show. Lots still going on in the world of the NBA. Teams getting ready for the playoffs. And in case you didn't notice, Keith's Yankees just beat the Boston Red Sox. And so Keith took to Twitter and now has all of his Celtics fan followers, which tend to be Red Sox fans as well, angry with him. So Keith, how are you doing?
Yeah, it's a day that ends in Y. They're gonna be mad at me about something. Might as well be this today. I mean, they were very nice about the Celtics despite a loss last night. Nobody got super angry. A couple weirdos, but you know how that goes every game. But everybody was pretty relaxed about last night's game, so I might as well be angry today. But it's okay. I can take it. I'm used to it. It's been 40 plus years of this, so might as well keep
To
it
be
going.
fair, like you knew what was going to happen when you tweeted out
Oh,
1-0, baby.
100%.
Like you knew what
Yep.
was going to happen.
Oh yeah. Yep. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah, I knew exactly how it was going to go. Do it to myself.
Well, hey, as long as you know it's going to happen and you can celebrate on your own and just ignore all the hate, then I think that's just fine. It is a little bit funny though, having somebody who covers the Celtics and be a Yankees fan would be like me being like a Lakers fan and a Giants fan or something like that. You know what I mean? Like it's just a little
It
little
would
weird.
be. Yeah. No, I get it. I mean, I get where people are
Mhm.
coming from. I fully understand it. Like but it is what it is. It's the life I live.
All right. Well, good luck dodging all your mentions. Let's get into some NBA news. John Morant hopefully will be back with these last few games. Again, we only have a few games left in the NBA season. Thank goodness.
Two.
Yeah,
Right? I don't
right
think
at
anybody
two.
has more than two
So
left.
John
Yeah.
Morant hopefully will be back in action. This is important, not just from a hey he's healthy standpoint, but also in terms of team chemistry, being in rhythm, and all that. I don't think John Morant is like if he doesn't come back until the playoffs, then okay, he's still plug and play. Off you go. But ideally, you'd want him back with a little bit of time left, just so if is any kind of rust or chemistry or anything like that that you need to kind of re-solidify, you've got an opportunity to do that. So I think this is ideal for the Grizzlies to get him back now, bring him in for a few games. You don't have to play him 35 minutes a night, play him 20 minutes or something like
No.
that. Just get a feel for it and then be ready for playoffs.
Yeah, I think if you're the Grizzlies, your ideal is probably to play him, assuming he's ready. Taylor Jenkins explained he just started doing 5-on-5 work, but he made it through pretty good, was feeling pretty good. They're off today, Friday, but I think their ideal would be bring him in
Mm-hmm.
Saturday, play him cameo appearance. And then my guess is just if form holds true with most teams, they won't play anybody on Sunday in their final game with nothing to play
Yeah.
for because it just doesn't. It's very rare that teams play anybody. At most, maybe they treat it like that last preseason game where you come out, you play your two stints in the first half, and then that's it. Second half, you sit everybody. So maybe that's the direction they go. Because one thing I do think with the advent of the play-in is coaches are concerned about they're going to be off for 5 days if you're already locked in. If you're a top six seed, you're not going to play for almost a full week because then you won't play until the weekend. And I do think coaches worry about guys getting rusty and
Mm-hmm.
stale sitting that long. But we'll see how the Grizzlies played out. But if nothing else, this is great news that Ja's probably at the worst back for game one of the playoffs.
Yeah, and that's look, this Grizzlies team, hats off to them. They've done an incredible job this season of just dealing with injuries and continuing to push forward and continuing to win games, finding ways to win. They've been amazing at that. It's been a lot of fun to watch. But you want Ja to be there come playoff time. You need him out there giving you that superstar burst. So I think this is going to be big for them, and I'm excited to see what the Grizzlies can do come playoff time. We'll see if they can kind of buck the trend of the young team that doesn't quite have a ton of playoff experience. Just usually the playoffs catch up to them, but I do wonder if the Grizzlies can be the exception to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, in this whole they're better
No,
without Ja stuff, that's just so
yeah.
silly. They're just not. So it is what it is. They'll figure all that stuff out and they'll go from there. So yeah, it'll be
Mhm.
fine. I'm not worried at all about him getting in there. It's just it's good news that he's healthy and they let's see. Clippers or T-Wolves, because that's now locked in as the official 7-8 game, and they'll find out on what is that, Tuesday night, I think it is. Yeah, Tuesday night they'll know who they're going to be playing in the first round. It's always a little weird that the 2 seed finds out before the
Right.
1 seed, but so
If
be it.
if you're the Grizzlies, do you have publicly they will never say, but privately, should the Grizzlies have a preference between those two? Between
Yeah,
you'd rather see
Timberwolves.
the Wolves, especially if Paul George and all that.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing with the Clippers. They're getting healthy. Clippers have kind of been there, done that with most of those guys. The Wolves have not. They'd be one of the few teams in the West that Memphis would have far more playoff experience than, because they've at least been there a couple times now. So I'd rather see, let's see, the Timberwolves if I'm Memphis. But either way, I think they should win that first round series, assuming Ja's healthy and ready to go. But the Clippers are kind of looming as that weird team just because we don't know health wise.
So if you're the Grizzlies, go Wolves in that first round then, and then off you go. Then you have your matchup set. Nikola Jokic, shocking, really good at basketball. First ever 2,000, 1,500 record on the season. That's absolutely incredible. 2,000 points, 1,000 rebounds, 500 assists. Just goes to show how versatile he is and how incredible his game is. I'm starting to see more and more of a push for him to get the MVP award. It feels like that's kind of the direction where this is heading. I'm sure Joel Embiid would not agree. I'm sure Sixers fans would not agree. But just from I don't have a dog in the fight here. Just from what I've seen in terms of the national narrative, it feels like we're kind of shifting in that direction.
Yeah, it does. That straw poll had it headed that way. That was run. That's obviously, too many people, I think, got too up in arms about that. As Tim Bontemp said when he wrote it, like, this is a straw poll. These aren't all people who actually have votes, but you're just trying to get a sense. But yeah, they clinched top 6 last night, which I thought was interesting. Jokic basically he knew he couldn't get away without commenting on the achievement of the 2,000, 1,500, but he did say, hey, I just, I want to win games. Like, I'm happy we clinched a playoff spot, all the things you want to hear from that. But yeah, top 6. So we know that our top 6 is set now in each conference. Seeds are not set. We've only got a couple still locked in there. And then we know our 8 playoff team, or play-in teams rather, in the play-in tournament in each conference. And we know it's Minnesota hosting the Clippers in the West. It's going to be Pelicans, Spurs still, who's at home up for grabs. Pelicans only need to win one or have the Spurs lose one in the last 2, and they'll host. And then in the East, it's still all jumbled. Cavs, Nets, Hawks, Hornets. Cavs, Nets tonight, Friday night. Big one to decide, potentially who hosts, what the playing games are. Like that. That's really a massive game.
I'm just hoping that, and yes, that is a huge game. I'm hoping that there is still some uncertainty come Sunday in some of these, so that we have a real decision day. You know what I mean? Where we can have something on the line on Sunday, and it's not just everybody knows where they're at, and so everybody's just putting out their second and third units, and then we get kind of a dud to finish off the season.
Yeah. And the NBA did a good job with those East teams, those 4 playing teams that are all still fighting for seeding. They all play at 3:30 on Sunday afternoon. It's Cavs hosting the Bucks, Hawks at the Rockets, Nets hosting the Pacers, and Hornets hosting the Wizards. You would think 3 of those 4 are definitely going to win, the Nets, Hawks, and Hornets. Cavs, we'll see, because I don't know that the Bucks are going to play anybody. We'll kind of see. They're playing tonight against the Pistons on the second night of a back-to-back. They beat the Celtics last night to move into second. They can more or less sew up second with a win against the Pistons tonight, but we'll see how they play it out. The Pistons have also been pretty frisky lately. They've been playing teams tough for probably about a month and a half now. They've been in most of their games, so still a lot to be decided. But I'm with you on Sunday. I want Sunday to be more. Obviously, nobody's playing to get into the postseason. That's all decided. But yeah, the fun of the seeding and stuff. It would be fun to have that all still in the balance.
Absolutely. The Bucks made a move. They signed Rajon Tucker to a multi-year deal. Most likely that's a 2-year deal. I know normally it takes a little bit of time for that to trickle out, what exactly what the details are in the contract, but probably a 2-year deal. And then that's replacing DeAndre Bembry. So there's a move for them.
Yep. Yeah, a 3-year deal
Oh, it ended up being a 3.
per. Yeah. Well, we don't know for sure. Chris Haynes reported that, so it probably is. I generally
Sure.
Chris is pretty spot on with his reporting. So yeah, it sounds like that's where we're at with a 3-year deal for Ajon Tucker, as you said, replaces DeAndre Bembry, injured out for the season. So yeah, so they went with that. What's interesting about the way that'll look is that's kind of a get him for
Right.
next year thing, because there's no chance he's gonna play any kind of role in the postseason. That would be crazy. They're pretty healthy now, and they've got really good depth. So I think they're looking pretty good. And now I will say the Celtics were right there last night without Jason Tatum and Al
Mm-hmm.
Horford. They came right down to the final minute. Daniel Tice, second year in a row, missed a big shot late with under a minute to play that would have put the Celtics right back in it. But it is what it is. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. That's not a great sign for the Bucks if the Celtics missing those pieces. We're still right there in the game late, but you never know. Come playoff time, what may happen. The Lakers had a few things. First of all, they announced that LeBron James is out for the rest of the season, which probably will quiet down all the people that were complaining that LeBron was only out there chasing his own stats. We've been saying for a while now that was never a thing, that the Lakers actually needed him to go to ballistic in order to have a shot to win games, and that was what he was doing more than anything else. But now we have certainty because he needed to play in the final 2 games in order to qualify to win the scoring title this year, have to hit 58 games. He's only going to be at 56. I guess technically the NBA still counts it. They just give him a 0 for these next 2 games, which will knock him low enough to where he's not going to win the scoring title. But this is, I guess, on one hand, proof that he doesn't really care about the individual stats that much, and that's not what his recent scoring binge was all about. But also means that the ankle injury was probably fairly significant enough for the Lakers to say, let's not risk it. Team doctors said, nah, just let's hold him out for the rest of the season and look ahead to next year.
Yeah, I mean, it just makes sense. There's no reason at this point. And if you played hurt, then yes, it would have likely been because you're trying to win a scoring title. And if that's clearly not the case here, let's go. I openly admit it would have been kind of cool at his age to see him win a scoring title. That would have been a pretty historic, fun thing. But let's see what that looks like. But it's I mean, I don't have any issue with the Lakers holding him out. I wouldn't have any issue if he was healthy and played and went out there and scored 50 points in each of the last 2 games to try to win the title. With that, I don't we haven't heard officially right on Anthony Davis and Russell Westbrook.
They are out tonight
yet.
From what I've seen
tonight, my guess is they won't play Sunday either. I'd be very surprised if they play. So yeah, that's what I think. I think we're probably done with seeing the regular Lakers for this season.
Yeah.
Or at least the top end Lakers, I guess. You can't. They've played so many different guys this year. It's hard to even know who's a regular and who isn't.
40 different starting lineups this season. They've played 80 games. They've had 40 different starting fives. Absolutely absurd. It's like that would be. Even if you set out with that goal in mind, like that would be hard to accomplish if you were a coach.
Yeah.
Man.
Nobody wanted. I mean, the coaches, I mean, I know Frank Vogel would love to sit down and write in the same 5 guys every night, and off we go. And that's not going to be how it goes all season long. But you certainly don't anticipate having 40 different lines. And you know what? I'd play 2 different ones in the last 2 games. So you'd say, hey, over half the year we never had the same lineup.
And that's very doable now with the names that are left on the roster. That's very doable. Speaking of which, they did sign Wenyen Gabriel to a 2-year deal. So Wenyen Gabriel, as we talked about Trevor Ariza getting waived, that was what we speculated was that it would be to give Wenyen Gabriel that spot. Now, yesterday, before the game, Frank Vogel said, well, we might look to the G League and all that. I think he was just being coy. But it did leave some question. Are they really going to use it on Wenyen Gabriel? Comes today. Yes, of course. That's what they did. They gave Wenyen Gabriel a 2-year deal. So there's a team option, so they can bring him back for next season and just have some bench depth. That's really all this is, and have the opportunity to still have flexibility if it's not working out. That team option protects you a bit there.
And my guess is in exchange for that team option, Wenyen Gabriel got a chunk of the remaining mid-level exception, which could have allowed them to give him more than a 2-year deal. But generally players that have been around the league for a few years, like Gabriel has, are not going to sign more than a 2 year minimum. That's usually a thing that rookie guys do, or guys who are very much on the fringe. But yeah, it'll look a lot like Stanley Johnson's deal, where they'll have a team
Mhm.
option that gives them flexibility, and then the at least for the next couple months as they're kind of lining up the off season. If you want to keep them around, you exercise it. If not, we may also find out a lot of times these things are reported as team options, and it's really a non-guaranteed or partially
Mhm.
guaranteed second season. So we may find that out when the deal actually files. So once we know the details, we'll come back to it for sure.
Absolutely. All right. We also have word that Kurt Rambis and Linda Rambis as well, the Rambi as we call them, and Rob Pelinka are going to be safe in terms of moves. I mean, right now we're seeing the blame game. It's already starting to play out in Lakerland. Fingers are being pointed, but it sounds like while Frank Vogel is almost certainly out, the front office is almost certainly not. Rob Pelinka, it's been reported he'll have at least another year to try to fix things. Kurt Rambis, Linda Rambis, longtime friends and allies of Jeannie Buss, not going anywhere. Not necessarily what Lakers fans want to hear after what just happened, but the Lakers are going to stick with the current front office crew that they've got.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
surprising. I guess it's this is generally the Lakers are. Let's keep things within the
Yeah.
family. Obviously, Rob Pelinka and Kurt Rambis are considered part of the Laker family. So I don't know. I mean, it the Rob Pelinka part. Let's see where that goes
Uh
down the
huh.
line. Like that could be one if maybe another GM becomes available that they didn't expect, or they feel like they can get somebody else. Maybe then they move on from Rob Pelinka. But because again, it's April,
Yeah.
right? It's the beginning of April. You don't really need to worry about these things until you get to the middle to end of June, because you're trusting that you'll be able to still do your final
Mm-hmm.
draft work, and trust the people that built your draft board and all that stuff. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. We'll see what they ultimately do there. I'm still of the mindset of, maybe they bring in somebody. And unfortunately, I mean, and I say unfortunately because sometimes it limits your talent pool. They're probably going to stick to the family tree. But is there another voice that maybe you bring in, particularly that's more, I don't know, aware of? I shouldn't say aware of, but is more focused on the cap and the different things you can do there. I'm not saying Rob Pelinka isn't or doesn't understand those things, but I could see where that could be a useful thing. But then again, at the same time, one of the challenges, and Ramona Shelburne mentioned this in a piece that she wrote today. One of the challenges is there's so many voices already attached. Magic Johnson clearly has some kind of a say. Kurt and Linda Rambis, Rob Pelinka, Jeannie Buss. It's
Mhm.
when you look at this and you're pointing fingers, it's hard to know who made what decision. And that's and
Yeah.
that's I mean, I guess in terms of deflecting blame, that's a good thing, but overall, I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing when you've got, too many cooks in the kitchen.
No, and there's a couple things, right, too. So one is I don't go crazy with this stuff because when they say, it'll be hard for them to hire somebody to come in and run the team and those kind of things. There's only 30 of these
Exactly. Yep.
jobs. There's only 30, and the Lakers is a pretty damn good one. Like it's, one of the biggest markets in the NBA. It's a historic franchise. They are, yeah, we can make jokes and laugh and, do what you want, but they're committed to winning. They want to win every year. So you've got that. The other thing though, that I think becomes a, um, thing you have to factor in is it does maybe make it hard to get the most elite guys, because they may look at it and say, hey, if I'm coming in, the owner, that's who I report
Mm-hmm.
to. I don't need 15 other voices telling me, what to do. Now they're going to hire people to give their input and all that stuff because that's what they should do. And ideally, right, you want to, just like in any walk of life, have people in your life who disagree with you, because you don't want a bunch of yes men. But you can't be in a position where it is, all right, I want to sign this guy. Let me run it through 14
Mm-hmm.
other people before there. It should be, we want to sign this guy, go to the owner and say, here's what we want to do. Done. Off we go, and let's go. So yeah, that's the part where, yeah, maybe I know there's been a lot of Sam Presti buzz and that kind of stuff because of LeBron's comments over All-Star weekend. I mean, if you're Sam Presti, you're looking at it and saying, yeah, I would be happy to run the Lakers, provided
Right.
I answer to Jersey
Provided I
Buss.
get to run the Lakers and not, yeah,
Exactly. Yep.
exactly.
That's exactly it. So, but again, yeah, I mean, it's not like they're going to have a difficult time filling it if they do move on from Rob Pelinka. 30 jobs, and this is one of the best ones of the 30.
In my mind, it's like a Parks and Rec-esque dibs system. Remember where the city council sits around and they all say, oh, no, it's this guy's turn. Okay, Kurt, now you get to pick who we're going to sign. Okay, all right, now let's move on. All right, Linda, your turn. Who are we going to go get? And they just rotate that way. Maybe that's it.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
that's a joke. I really hope that's not the case. I hope that's not.
Yeah, it better not be. If you imagine if that ever came out at that point, you gotta start. You pick a new team.
We
be a Magic fan or something, because that you can't continue.
We would have protests outside of crypto.com arena again. It's hard to not say Staples Center still, but we would have protests again.
Yeah, it's that when those arenas changed names, it's like that's like a year's process to get there. It hasn't been the Fleet Center in Boston since I think after I actually moved to Florida. I think they had changed their name before that, and I still occasionally will trip up and call it the Fleet Center, and it hasn't been that in 20 years. So yeah, that's whatever. Moving on. Let's go.
Well, actually, that's yeah, it is Friday. That's all we've got for today. We are heading into
Hey, did you watch Moon Knight?
I did. We should talk about that.
Yeah, pretty good. Yeah,
that was pretty awesome.
It's good stuff, right?
Very good.
Get to see. I mean, we'll try to keep it relatively spoiler free, because I know a lot of people will save those for the weekends. But yeah, good stuff. I really enjoyed.
What I liked, and again, I want to try to keep it. I don't want to spoil it, but what I liked is the kind of mystery around whether Khonshu is good or bad. You know what I mean? Like they're leaving that very much unknown. And I think that's kind of cool, because there's a lot of different ways that you can go with it. And then I enjoy just the back and forth within his own mind and all that kind of stuff, and jumping to the different characters. And that's pretty fun.
I will say this, and this is not a spoiler, because this stuff has been in previews and trailers and things. Oscar Isaac's physical acting, where he's like fighting things that aren't there, unbelievable. Like he is so good. Like even if you're not into the Marvel and the superhero stuff, check it out just for him. He is unbelievable. He's one of the better actors I think we have going right now. I'm not a huge film and acting guy, but I mean he's unbelievable.
It makes me look back and just say, okay, that's it. Don't put apocalypse on him. That's not his fault. It's very clearly not his fault now that we've seen this.
Yeah. Yes, yeah, without a doubt. Yeah, he really is something else. And I think too, the other thing I'll say, Arthur Harrow, Ethan Hawke's character, pretty good villain. One of the better ones they've had. That's TV shows and movies. Because that's been the thing. They have kind of a villain issue sometimes, and he's been a pretty good one. So yeah, hopefully y'all that are checking it out are really enjoying it and very
that bit where he revealed his, well, again, I don't want to just say it, but when he revealed his past in terms of what he used to do, I was oh, okay, did not see that coming, and that's a really cool wrinkle that they're throwing in.
Absolutely. Yep, without a doubt.
All right, everybody. Well, if you haven't been pumped about Moon Knight enough, go check it out. And of course, watch some NBA basketball this weekend. Keith and I will be back on Monday with a new episode of the NBA Front Office Show. Make sure you guys are
Monday. Sorry, just to let everybody know what to look forward to. Monday, we will do a full play-in tournament preview, including our picks. We'll do our predictions there. We will do full playoff previews later for the series we know later next week. Next week is going to be playoffs. But we will also come on one of the days coming up. We will come with our full awards picks as well. So the full show will be us picking MVP, All NBA, Rookie of the Year, All Rookie, all of the awards. We'll go through the whole thing and give you guys our picks. So look for play-in preview stuff coming this Monday. Because we'll know the play-in matchups then, and then look for all award stuff, and then a ton of playoff stuff coming from there, and we'll, of course, all of our predictions and everything from that.
Absolutely. That's going to be coming up, so be on the lookout for that. And yeah, can't wait. Playoffs are almost here. Make sure you guys are subscribing to the NBA Front Office YouTube channel. Turn on those notifications. And don't forget as well, give us that 5-star rating and review over on Apple Podcasts. We certainly love to get those too. Till next time, everybody, have a great weekend. Stay safe and see ya.